You're late.
Good afternoon to you too, Chris.
You're late.
Is anything else new?
Teleprompter's down.
Teleprompter's down.
Teleprompter's down.
We'll get it back up.
You're late.
I heard.
Well, I wasn't sure if someone told you yet.
Oh, I took care of it, don't you worry.
Is there anything else I should be made aware of?
Yeah, the teleprompter's down.
Oh, is the teleprompter down?
Yeah, the teleprompter's down.
Oh, well, that's just fantastic. Anything else new?
Hey, is the script approved?
You guys handle the script. I'll handle the teleprompter.
He's late.
He knows.
Do you think we'll be able to film the entire show tonight?
I think so. I mean, if not, we can just rent out the studio another day and film the cold open there.
Yeah, but won't we be wearing different clothes?
They're not gonna know.
They're gonna know.
They're not gonna know.
They're gonna know. We're rolling in 5.
What about the script?
We said we'd take care of the script.
We're rolling in 5.
Okay, you find an exec staff member, I'll delay them in the control room.
Okay.
Chris, I have a question about the script. I don't think my character would say
The
this.
character's yourself.
I don't think I would say that.
Well, you're gonna in 5. Ray, here's the script.
You could have got this to us earlier?
We're rolling in 5.
It's fine.
All right, fantastic.
Hey, did you hear that Gavin's late?
I know! Went too big.
That was a little much.
A little too big.
Yeah.
A little too big.
Hey, Jeremy wants to see us?
What do you think he wants?
I don't know.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, did you hear about the frog who double parked its car?
No.
It was Toad. Have a great show.
Thanks, Jeremy.
That's good.
Let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to In Other Words. I'm Gavin Berger, real-life producer of this show. Here to give you the monologue for our final episode of the semester. The 93rd Annual Academy Awards took place this week, and the award ceremony looked pretty different this year. The Oscars were held outside, meaning Daniel Kaluuya's voice was upstaged by the distant sounds of some guy calling another guy a jerk on the 405. I love LA. There was also no host or audience this year. That's right, they copied us again. Last year they had a Korean movie about the meat in the campus center dining hall called Parasite. Now this, preposterous. As always, the ceremony was a huge deal. Millions of young viewers got excited to watch something else and then Google the winners the next morning. We were so excited to watch all these great films face off against each other. Well, I only watched one, so I was excited to get mad when the one that I watched didn't win every award. Honestly, I think the Oscars could use an upgrade. Now commences my yearly plea for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences to please, please, please let the Green Muppet in the trash can give out a trophy of himself. Actually, instead of giving stupid gold statues, each filmmaker should be given a little boy named Oscar. The filmmaker should have to teach, they should have 18 years to teach each Oscar the art of filmmaking. The filmmaker responsible for the most talented Oscar wins a coupon to TGI Fridays. This past week, President Joe Biden announced he plans to cut the amount of greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2030. The real question is, which half will he choose? Biden's two loves of trains and securing the support of liberals are truly being pinned against one another with this plan. Not to mention, it's tough to cut greenhouse gas emissions in half when you're so old you can only use safety scissors with frogs on them. This plan is part of the U.S.'s attempt to rejoin the Paris Agreement. Other plans include forcing Americans to carry around baguettes, smoke a carton of cigarettes a day, and pretend to like nonsensical black and white movies from the 60s. One of the key ways he will accomplish this is by bringing back human-powered assembly lines in factories like they used to do in the good old days. And finally, today we're bringing back my favorite story of the semester. On a French lake, mariners are learning how to not get stuck in the Suez Canal. I feel like Phineas and Ferb figured this out before breakfast. The channel is built to a 1/25th scale of the real section of the Suez Canal, and if this counts as adequate training for a profession, can we cut college down by 1/25th of its scale now? I'm guessing the training sessions go like, okay, so here we have a big old boat, and here's a tiny old passageway for the boat. Don't turn the big old boat sideways to halt the global economy for the week. The mariners learned that it wasn't about the canal all along, but the friends we made along the way. Or maybe it was a lake all along. Was there ever really a ship stuck in the Suez Canal, or was it just a distraction? Big shipping must have been getting jealous. They knew that they didn't get talked about as much as other global enterprises, so they wanted to make a whole entire industry off of it. They're going to milk this thing for everything it's worth. Watch out for the #1 toy of this holiday season, a boat stuck in the Suez Canal Lego set. And be sure to keep an eye out for the upcoming 8-part HBO Max miniseries about the incident starring my girl, Dame Judi Dench. Before we go on to the rest of the show, I just wanted to get real for a second. This will be my final episode of In Other Words, as I apparently graduate college in less than a month. Pitching this show 2 years ago was possibly the best decision I've ever made at IC, and I could not imagine my time here without this show. In Other Words means the absolute world to me. I appreciate everyone who's ever worked on this show so much more than any of them know. Whether you worked on this show for half of a semester or for the past 4, I want to thank everyone for putting up with my truly insane ideas and for helping me to put some of the craziest things on ICTV. I have to thank Shaila Jayasinghe, my co-creator and original co-producer. This show truly would not have happened without her, and I am forever grateful for her saying yes to producing the show with me. I have to thank my current co-producers, Caroline Young and Chris Massarelli. Their dedication over the past 2 years are literally unmatched. They are 2 of the most talented, brilliant, and quick-witted people I've ever met, and there's no one else I would have rather produced this show with. I wish I could list off everyone who's been helpful over the past 2 years, but it's only a half-hour show, and we do want to squeeze in some comedy, so I'm going to rattle off some other names. Sammy, Rachel, Lynette, Shenley, the entire cast, everyone in the control room, everyone here in the studio, everyone waiting in the hall due to the COVID capacity numbers, Jeremy Menard, Stephen, Patricia, Maddie, Tess, Sean, Ray, everyone who's been a part of the show in any other sense. Thank you all so much for your hard work and for helping me to prove that there is a place for this type of content on ICTV. I'm so excited to see how the show will evolve and grow after I'm gone, and I look forward to watching next semester's producers, Ray, Alex, and Gianna, implement their own wacky and wild ideas. Now, before I start crying, we should go back to the comedy. We got a great show for you tonight. One Direction is here, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more In Other Words.
Welcome back to In Other Words. I'm Bailey Wilkinson, joined by professional schmoozer Lizzie Smith and Doug Emhoff impersonator Ray Deutsch. This week, NASA's Perseverance Mars rover extracted oxygen from the red planet for the first time, but it's still going to take nearly 10 years to cut the country's greenhouse gas emissions.
Scientists can create oxygen, but they still can't make my Wi-Fi signal stretch farther than 4 feet.
Oh, big deal. I mean, plants do that every day. What do they want, a medal?
The Smithsonian will probably have $20 bags of Mars air next to the freeze-dried space ice cream in like a year or 2.
I cannot wait to be straight chillin' on Mars drinking moon juice.
Okay, on second thought, this is great for humanity, but does it beat how just 8 short years ago society was consumed by the cultural phenomenon that was the Harlem Shake?
I'd say it took my breath away, but on Mars, it did the opposite.
Ha. Technology is becoming sentient quicker than all of us previously thought. First, they breathe oxygen. Next, they'll be able to get through the prove you're not a robot security questions.
I really hope Tinder Global will now include Mars. I can't wait to meet a hot Martian and get a 2 a.m. "What are you up to?" text and pull up after like a 3-year space travel.
The most important part is filtering out the particles of Matt Damon that are still stuck out there.
Now that Elon Musk knows that going to Mars is a possibility, hopefully he won't bother with that Neuralink thing that's going to turn society into one Black Mirror episode.
I'm sorry, did nobody else notice that Ronan popped into this segment?
What do you mean?
Wait, what? Ronan was just sitting there a second ago. Ray, you must have seen it.
I didn't notice anything strange.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything either.
What's going on here? This is some Black Mirror level shenanigans.
Lizzie, if you don't mind, I think we're just going to move on. The new European football, or soccer, for those of you who are uncultured, league titled European Super League has quickly fallen apart in less than 48 hours.
Seeing how 12 of the founding soccer clubs haven't achieved even mediocre success in years, the league was never going to be super. It's just the equivalent of teaming up all the D-rated superheroes.
The Super League was suspended 3 days after it was announced. I mean, I think fruit flies have had longer lifespans than the so-called Super League.
I'm disappointed. I thought this actually was going to be an interesting topic, like a guy with Europe's superpowers, like a Eurovision act. I'm convinced they're magic.
This never would have happened if they used the Zack Snyder cut of the European Super League.
Wait, Anna, you're here too?
I don't know how I got here. I was laying on my bed at home and then I blinked and I was here.
Well, hold tight. I want to figure out what's going on.
The European Super League supposedly took 3 years to plan out, just for it all to come crashing down in 48 hours. This is like when I made my schedule freshman year with precise planning on what classes I will take, only to sleep past my course selection time and drop out of school.
It's hilarious that this story has led to riots and protests all across Europe. Basically, every European is losing their minds, and yet it's a filler topic for our roundtable.
I'm on a monitor.
Wait, Lizzie.
Ah, that was crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah, it was so dark and cold.
Like an empty void?
It was like the world was gone forever.
Like the simulation's breaking?
Like, wait, did you say the simulation was breaking?
Slowest week. Not only are we covering sports, but sports from another continent. When I first heard this news, I was so upset to think of the idea of not having a European superhero movie. I was really, really upset to learn that it was just about, like, soccer.
No, wait, where'd they go? Is this all a simulation? Wait, last week!
This isn't real. Life is a life. The simulation is melting our brains. Go read a book. We'll be right back.
Oh my goodness, the simulation is finally breaking, and this is about to get really, really weird.
Man, I'm knackered from recess.
I can't wait to have a big glass of apple juice when I wake up.
My mommy says I can't have apple juice. There's too much sugar in it. I drink skim milk instead.
Hush, my children. There will be enough time for chatter later. Now it's time for your favorite bedtime story. Twilight, Chapter 1, First Sight.
Can you believe that she said that to me? And at my son's Thomas the Tank birthday, no less.
I tell you, you can't trust a one of them. Back massage?
Yes, please.
Jay, I wish you were a real boy.
Actually, Ronan, I'm still real. I've just been virtual this semester because I'm not in Ithaca.
Oh. Well, what's it like living in a box?
Okay, again, I don't live in a box. You're just seeing me on a monitor.
Don't worry, Jay. We'll get you out of that box.
Ronan, again, what are you doing? What are you?
Shh.
Hey,
Jay. Night, Jay.
Ronan, man, I'm not a bird, dude.
Night, Jay. Shh. Night, Jay.
Now into the next joke.
Silence! You yield your time to the chair.
Your Honorable Chair, may I have the floor?
You may.
I want to say that the joke Emma was going to say is terrible, and I never want to hear it.
Right of reply.
Granted.
I think that we should be able to speak freely and let the caucus decide.
I have decided that.
I'm here talking with our lovely director, Rachel. Wait, Rachel, if you're here in the studio, then who's directing the show?
It is time for us to fight in mortal combat for the good grace of Jeremy, elder god of ICTV.
Hail to King Jeremy, the overseer of the station, the connoisseur of creativity. His strength and resolve knows no bounds.
Jeremy demands excellence from all of us. The loser will be demoted to the Natural Sciences Department, forced to study physics. The winner gets Rod Serling's Emmys and a quick glimpse at Icy's books. Bailey and Ronan, you're up first.
Wait! This is not what Jeremy would want.
Who are you to speak the word of Jeremy?
Guys, seriously. Jeremy told us we couldn't fight again after last year's incident.
I guess I see his point. Because Ithaca College, I see, it sounds like I see. Laugh! Laugh at my funny and relatable joke. Laugh!
Laugh! Laugh! Laugh!
I'm here talking with our lovely technical director, Sammy. Wait, Sammy, if you're here, then who's driving the bus?
All right, we went to Pennsylvania to intensity dance, and we won. We should have. You are award-winning champions. Let's move on to the pyramid. Hannah, you dingbat, pay attention. At the bottom of the pyramid, we have Jay. You've been lacking in this segment. Where's the expression? Everything feels so robotic, like you're restricted. You don't apply the corrections. What was that on stage? You forgot the solo. Try writing it down. Next, we got Ray. When you were doing your turns, you were not on releve. No releve? You turn like a duck. If they started timing that, we would have been disqualified. The In Other Words dance company does not get disqualified. My name is my reputation, and that is everything. Next is Ronan. You fell out of the back bend in your lyrical solo in front of everyone on that competition. Even in front of the news department. Those rotten apples. Next, we got Bailey. You were fine. I didn't even notice you were there. You could have made it fabulous, but you didn't, so do that. It was mediocre, you know, but you're Bailey. Next, Anna. You were just okay. I liked your impression of the producers in the field segment last week. Did you keep up with the rest, though? I don't know. Next, Lizzie. Great, amazing. However, you were not the best. Remember, you're in second place. Second place is the first to lose. And at the top, Maddie. Get back to work. We've got a competition in Ohio in 2 days and a 5-minute dance routine to learn in 1.
Excuse me, Gavin. I heard you gave the Roll It Back to Bailey, and as the best singer in the Glee Club, I believe that I should get the solo segment.
Okay, Anna, we try to give them out to everyone so that everyone gets an equal opportunity. Bailey just deserves it as much as you do. Anna.
You clearly do not care about the future of this club. We have sectionals in 2 weeks, and everything is on the line. Clearly, no one cares but me.
Welcome back to In Other Words. I'm Bailey Wilkinson, joined by professional schmoozer Lizzie Smith and Doug Emhoff impersonator Ray Deutsch. This week, NASA's Perseverance Mars rover extracted oxygen from the red planet for the first time, but it's still going to take nearly 10 years to cut the country's greenhouse gas emissions?
Scientists can create oxygen, but they still can't make my Wi-Fi signal stretch farther than 4 feet.
Big deal. Plants do that every day. Wait, what did they want? A medal? Wait, has this happened before? What are we doing?
The Smithsonian will probably have $20 bags of Mars air next to the freeze-dried space ice cream in like a year or two.
Technology is becoming sentient quicker than all of us previously thought. First, they breathe oxygen. Next, they'll be able to get through the prove you're not a robot security questions. The real question is, how can we get through those questions when we're the robots?
My head hurts. We'll be right back.
Hello. Welcome back to In Other Words. I'm TV's Gavin Berger. Now, before we start, for legal reasons, I must admit I am in fact a producer on this show. But for vanity reasons, I must also admit that I co-created this show. I'm a graduating senior, so I've been working on ICTV for arguably too long. But with that comes working on a lot of different shows. Sure, I've worked on shows ranging from In Other Words to After Hours to Fake Out to even Game Over for a few semesters freshman year. I've been around the block, is what I'm trying to say. For my final semester, I had the ingenious idea of seeing how many TV shows could I appear on ICTV. Well, first we start off with the easiest department, entertainment.
Wonder who that could be.
Excuse me, are you talking about the New Deal?
Is that Gavin Berger?
Yes, it is I, Gavin Berger, a producer.
Wow, I can't believe a real-life producer is talking on this show.
Neither can I, and I produce this show. Welcome back to After Hours. I'm your host, Casey. Oh, no, I'm not. I don't have the eyebrows to carry that show. Since it's our final episode, we thought we'd give Casey a chance to play the game, and I'll take over. I'm Gavin Berger.
What are your 3 statements?
I'm sorry, what did you want to know? Repeat that for me.
What are your 3 statements?
Sorry, I got lost in your eyes. That's why I had to write them down.
Bailey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me.
I believe in you.
I believe
you
in
are
you.
incredible.
You affirmations.
You are absolutely amazing.
We got it. Okay.
Today we have a very special guest with us today. In other words, producer Gavin Berger.
What up? Happy to be here on the director's chair.
I just want to know what was going through this guy's head when he's like, you know, he's pounding on Kendall Jenner's house, and like he gets past guards or whatever. I assume there must be guards.
Yeah.
And then he decides, he gets arrested, which they only arrest him for 6 hours. And then when he gets out, that same night, he's like, well, I have the rest of my night free. Like, I should, what else?
Why not?
Let's go to Kylie's house, and does the same thing.
Those are real clips that have aired on ICTV. For realsies. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. TV's Gavin Berger, producer of In Other Words, those must be all of the shows that you've been on. There's no way you could be on other shows, right? And that's a fair point. I see where you're coming from. But I've infiltrated other departments. Roll the clip.
The Ithaca Ballet is kicking off its spring season with a virtual performance. The performance will be streamed at home at cinemapolis.org and tickets.
Stop. Do you see that? Right there? Let's zoom in. Enhance it. Enhance it. And there. You see that person? That's me, in the background of a Newswatch clip. Pretty cool, right? Now, unfortunately, it's pretty hard to appear on every single ICTV show, especially with this COVID-safe semester. Not as many shows are filming out and about where I could appear in the background, but I didn't want that to stop my takeover of ICTV. So, everything you've previously seen is completely true and real footage that is aired on ICTV. But I will warn you, everything moving forward is not real. It is purely satire. But it humors me, and I hope it humors you. So I now present to you the rest of Gavin Takes Over ICTV.
Okay, first, the rest of the news department. And for that, we go live to Gavin on a Friday morning.
Hey, what a good day, Ithaca. And what lovely weather. Such a great day to be ICTV report. Ting. Back to you, Gavin.
Well, you know what they say. If we don't get the next department, it will be game over. But I'm confident. This is what the sports department would look like if I was a part of it. You will very quickly see why I am not a part of the sports department. Doesn't make sense, but I think that they're holding the bat, they're not pitching the club. It doesn't matter, it doesn't make sense. If you could just hold that thought. I'm sitting here talking to all-star athlete Gavin Berger. Gavin, how are the Bombers? Live. Not only are the Bombers live, but they also play esports now. So you think you know sports? No, I really don't. I really don't think that. We now go to previously live Gavin in the field. What's going on, Gavin?
Nothing, Gavin. No one's here. We're in a pandemic. But hey, at least I don't have homework because I finished my sports final. Back to you, Gavin.
Papers, get your papers here. We got the inside scoop or the inside report. I'm not quite sure which one, but we definitely got one of them. Hey, what are you waiting for? Oh, I'm the next player up. Finally, we turn to the scripted shows. Now, most of them are either in pre or post-production, so we'll just go based on the names. Wow, we must be pretty deep underground, fathoms below any living creature, I reckon. Hey, I'm walking here. Man, living in this city really shows how unfunded I am. Wow, what a distinct lack of art. Oh, wait, look, there's a wormhole. Oh, wow, would you look at that? There's a hole in the ground, but it's so tiny, just big enough for a worm. What a piece of art. All right, well, now I'm out of breath from this whole segment, so for the last time in my ICTV career, I'm TV's Gavin Berger, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more In Other Words.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to In Other Words. We're here to talk about censorship, and I know what you're thinking. Why would anybody want to hear about media censorship from two people who moonlight as the Winklevoss twins?
And you know, that's fair. I also wouldn't want to listen to anything coming out of these faces. But we actually have a unique perspective as to the producers of In Other Words. And this is not us trying to cry wolf and say that ICTV sits around censoring us.
We are well aware that this is a public access channel, and we do our darndest each week to make sure the comedy is tame and accessible for everyone. But in doing so, we can imagine how frustrating it could be for someone not being able to say everything that they wish they could. It's like a boat in the Suez Canal. You can push all you want, but sometimes you just end up stuck.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, this isn't new. The United States has censored motion pictures since their incarnation. In the past, the government believed censoring content was not an infringement of freedom of expression, but rather preventing the depiction of lewd and/or obscene content from the public. which is ridiculous. Obscenity is sometimes the best part of TV. Why do you think we all watch Game of Thrones? The frozen tundra of misery? No. Several pieces of legislation, court cases, and self-regulation tactics were created for the purpose of censoring films, such as the Motion Picture Production Code and the MPPDA rating system. Film and television have gone through several phases of intense self-regulation due to the threat of federal involvement, before finally being granted constitutional protection in 1952. Film has challenged the limits of the First and the 14th Amendments and have depicted American attitudes and societal standards of a given time.
It's been 65 years since the code was abolished. However, content is still continuously censored, and in particular, entertainers giving their input on current events. Hassan Minhaj's piece on the Saudi Arabian government was removed from Netflix over controversy, and Hannibal Buress's act was cut short at Loyola University Chicago in 2018 when he mentioned scandals within the Catholic Church. And to that I say, what scandals within the Catholic Church? In 2018, President Trump questioned whether the content of SNL should be tested in court, which is ridiculous. Of course it shouldn't. People forget the reason FCC guidelines even exist is a result of a radio station broadcasting George Carlin's special, Filthy Words. And I can't imagine why. I love dirt-based humor.
And we like having friends, so this isn't an evisceration of cancel culture or whatever. It's merely advocating for free speech. Using comedy to draw attention to real-world issues has led to real change. Jon Stewart was able to make real change for 9/11 first responders when he was the host of The Daily Show, and was consistently voted the most trusted person in America since Walter Cronkite. And nobody gave a rat's patootie about net neutrality until John Oliver had something to say about it. And that Hassan Minhaj piece that was removed, it could have helped a lot of people if Netflix had his back. Just because it's not comfortable doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it. If that was the case, how would we ever talk about things like politics, religion, or Prince Charles? You're never going to make everyone happy, so you might as well have integrity.
As the great Michigan philosopher Eminem once said, "The FCC won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see. They tried to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me."
It's really well said.
Thank you.
And while we're on the topic of the FCC, here's a friendly reminder that Ajit Pai is a silly human being. If I said what I really thought about my guy in his stupid mug, it would definitely have to be censored.
Even in writing this piece, we have to keep in mind that we need to be careful about what we can and can't say because of the natural limitations that come with working at a college television station. I'd like to think we threaded the needle quite nicely, but we'll only know the answer after we get our script back.
In other words, we're quitting.
No. I mean, yeah, we are quitting, but that's not why.
That's right. This is the last episode of the season, and we'll both be studying in LA in the fall, still trying to adhere to FCC guidelines, but it's time for us to give up our baby.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and we love producing this show. We will miss it dearly.